Tales and Nature Trails, Recreation in Southeastern Connecticut and Southern Rhode Island, is pleased to welcome you to another fun-filled episode. Enjoy the show.
Ahoy there, and welcome to Nautical Tales and Nature Trails, Recreation in Southeastern Connecticut and Southern Rhode Island. My name's Will Morrissey, and I'm the host of the show. My wife is Bridget Morrissey. She's a realtor in the area, and we put together a book last year, letting all the folks coming into the area know all the different things that are happening here. And once the book came out, we decided to do the show. You know, there are so many people coming into the area. There's a tidal wave of new people. You got all those folks building submarines over at EB. You've got brave souls that are driving the submarines. You got students coming into Connecticut College, UConn at Avery Point, Mitchell College. You got the cadets at the United States Coast Guard Academy, plus all the visitors that are coming. Last year, 2023, Mystic was rated as the fourth most popular travel destination in the whole country. So there's a lot of things that are going on around here, and we just want people to know. And today we're going to be in Stonington Borough. We've got Spike Lobdell here with us. He's the founder and CEO of New England Science and Sailing. Welcome, Spike.
Great to be here. Thanks so much for inviting me.
It's great. Your program is a really good program for all the kids. Can you tell us a little bit about NESS?
Yes, we have a great team that produces it, but what NESS is we're an educational organization, and what we do is take about 9,000 students annually and get them out on the water learning STEM. And out on the water means using water-based platforms such as sailing, marine science, adventure sports, and powerboating. So at NESS, students are not only learning the math and the science, but they're also gaining valuable life skills by participating on these platforms. Things like self-confidence, perseverance, teamwork, communication, self-control. And when they're learning these things, we're not only learning the math and science, but they're gaining these skills. And through our research, we can say that students who take our programs are 9 times more likely to have positive change in self-confidence than those who don't.
Oh, that's a great program. You know, it's such a great way to teach people how to make decisions quickly.
You bet.
You know,
so when you and I are sailing, we're problem solving all the way along, but students are having fun. And I think what we're especially proud of is we're trying to make these programs accessible. So of the 9,000 students that we serve, approximately 50% are students receiving some form of financial aid to participate. So that means in London, someone who's never been out in the water before and maybe lives 100 yards away from it is getting that very opportunity and learning and having fun.
Well, we have a video that talks a little bit about NESS. Why don't we run that video?
This is what I call fun!
This is New England Science and Sailing. Simply stated, NESS transforms students, preparing them to take charge of their futures. We share the ocean with our community, but many students aren't able to access it. NESS changes that and uses powerful programs to build equity and achievement with underserved learners. NESS empowers students no matter their abilities or financial needs. NESS improves both academic outcomes and life skills. As the only non-school to earn accreditation from the New England Association of Schools and Colleges, NESS reaches as many as 9,000 students annually. Our experiential and standards-based curriculum uses marine science, sailing, powerboating, and adventure sports on the water and in classrooms as learning platforms, opening opportunities for all students. I'm thinking of Natalie, for example, who says NESS is the difference that changed her academics from all F's to all A's. Or Sydney, whose time at NESS led to an interest in marine science and her earning undergraduate and graduate science degrees. One student at a time, NESS is transformational for Natalie, Sydney, and thousands of other students through a joy of learning and the deliberate creation of student agency, taking responsibility for their own education and lives.
Since I love all the science stuff, when I grow up, I want to be a scientist myself.
Now that's great. You know, it's fun to see the children getting so involved. I mean, the name New England Science and Sailing, you think New England, you think sailing, but the science part of this is really big. I mean, it's, you know, the kids are learning so many different things. They've got the classrooms you saw, you've got the microscopes, you know, going out in the water and getting, you know, marine animals and everything. I mean, that's wonderful that you're doing this for all the kids, and that you're bringing in kids from outside of Stonington Borough. You know, you're bringing them in from the whole area. Mm-hmm. And you know, how did you get involved with all this, Spike?
Will, it's going to sound kind of a little bit crazy, but I was that NESS student. I didn't have the financial issues that many of our students had, but I have dyslexia. And so growing up when I was a middle school student, I was always in that lower track, you know, the bottom track where you kind of got picked on, and I thought I knew the answers, but it just never came out. And so I was frustrated, and I was having a very difficult time learning until I started to sail. And when I started to sail, I found that self-confidence. I was out on the water, I was making new friends, learning how to problem solve, and that very issue gave me the opportunity to think about how I was growing. So now, years later, probably centuries later from my perspective, we created NESS to give that same opportunity. Why shouldn't that opportunity to learn on the water and gain those valuable skills and support academic success be available to all? So that's how we started it.
Oh, that's great. I mean, it's a great program. I've heard so much about it, and one of the things that you don't hear about on what you'd think is a summer camp, basically, you know, but this is an accredited program.
Yes.
What was it? The New England Association of Schools and Colleges?
Yes, we were very proud of that. We were the first non-school in the country to be accredited. And the reason why we did that is if we're working with schools, why shouldn't we be put up to the same standards as they're being put up in terms of the quality of our lessons and what we're doing? So that accreditation process, for any of you out there who know it, very arduous, and it took us 1.5 years. And even if we weren't accredited, it provided a discipline for us to improve our programming. But we were fortunate to be accredited, and it really does stand for the quality of the program and the opportunity to continuously improve our program.
Well, you've got quite a staff over there. I was telling you about, you know, knowing Mark Zagel, and he's down on the water, but I know him from Stonington Little League, being on the board of directors there. And, you know, it's so great. You know, I've met a few people on your staff, but it's so great that they do something for the community other than where they're working. Mm-hmm. You know, and Mark putting in the time, and he puts in a lot of time with Little League. And I mean, it's just great seeing people do that, you know, do that kind of thing.
Yeah, well, our staff they're all very passionate educators. You know, certainly Mark, he is a world-class sailor in and of himself, but he's coaching at some points at NESS our junior-most Opti race team, teaching them the skills of sailing, but also teaching them the skills of taking care of their boat. We have other educators that are, you know, surfing instructors, kayak, and they're taking their skill set and transforming that into other students' lives, which really is wonderful.
Yeah, you've got quite a crew over there. Casey Commander's been keeping me up to date on, you know, what
only you look at the whole place.
You know? But yes, I've been over to the place, and it's nice that you're right down there on the water and you know, able to do that. But you know,
but we're also in New London. We have a physical presence at Ocean Beach, and so we're trying to work with the communities that we support, which are all really all over New England, and even some distance learning that we're doing.
Oh, okay. Well, you definitely have a classroom.
Oh,
you know,
yes.
Because you see the microscopes that they were looking into, and you know, the chalkboards and, you know, everything else. I mean, tell me a little bit about inside of NESS.
Yeah, I think our goal is to get, of the 9,000 students, we want to get as many students out in the water as possible. But when you think about New England, you know, January, it's not really good to get out in the water. So we have some really excellent classrooms with appropriate microscopes to transform that learning experience on the water and make it relevant in the classroom. You know, on the video you saw, we have these things that we call land cruisers or land sailors. Mm-hmm. And when the students are actually constructing those boats, and they have a little contest to see who can go the farthest and the fastest. But the geometry they're learning, you know, in terms of the distance and time, is a way to teach a lesson that they might not get otherwise. It's a lot of fun, and you see that in the students' eyes.
Well, that's great. Well, we have another video that, you know, we should show that kind of brings us up to date on all that.
Sailing is more than a sport. It's a connection to the world around us, and it's science. Now, students can experience American Magic, the United States competitor in the upcoming America's Cup, through their partnership with New England Science and Sailing. Together, we're bringing the very best of sailing and technology behind American Magic into the classroom, creating innovative curriculum and digital resources for schools and community programs. Students can explore the physics of wind and water dynamics, the mechanics of boat design, and the intricacies of sailing and navigation. American Magic and NESS are working to ensure that everyone has the opportunity to experience the thrill of sailing and the power of experiential learning. Visit our website to explore our free resources and learn how to implement our standards-based curriculum in your classroom. designed to inspire curiosity and teach students that science and technology are not just subjects, but tools that can change the world.
Now, Spike, you were talking about the classroom where they build their own little boats on wheels, and who could go the fastest and the furthest. There was another boat that we saw popping up in there, and that one would look pretty fast. Tell us about the new program that's coming our way.
Well, it's working with the New York Yacht Club and the American Magic effort to win back the America's Cup. So what you saw is a 75-foot boat that actually foils on top of the water. So our partnership with American Magic really is taking lessons learned at the very tip of the sport and bringing them down to middle school, many inner city school students, to have them understand the math and science that way. So one of the things, Will, that students can experience is we actually have a lot of these lessons that are available on our website for free. And you can not only experience seeing foiling from the American Magic perspective, but also lessons that teachers can learn to bring right in their classroom to take those lessons learned out on the water and bring it to your students. It's really a powerful tool, a powerful learning tool.
Now, that's sailing competition on an international scale.
Right.
That's really big. Do you have competitions on a local scale? I mean, is there a series that you do, or are you just teaching the different aspects of sailing?
Yeah, sailing is one of the platforms we use, and we have, learning how to sail, and then we also have programs that actually Mark Zagel runs that are opties and, working through, Club 420s. So the element of racing, but really our sailing programs, but even our surfing programs is designed to have students get out on the water learning those lessons and having some fun.
Now we'll get into the surfing in a little bit. It isn't just sailing, it isn't just science. There's a lot that goes into this. But you mentioned the New London facility. That's right at Ocean Beach Park?
Right at Ocean Beach Park. We do kayaking at Alewife Cove, and it's, once again, this is a community-based program, and we want to be in the communities that we support. In New London, we also run New London Community Boating, which provide free sailing lessons to New London residents over the summer, which is a great way to get them out in the water. Very excited about the opportunity to work with New London and help those students learn, but also acquire these social skills.
When I was picking up our grandkids, a lot of times I'd tell them that we were going across a town line. We're in Pawcatuck, we're going into Stonington, we're going into North Stonington, we're going into Groton, we're going into Ledyard. We live just over the Ledyard line, outside of Groton, across the street from us is Stonington,
Sure.
So, but you're popping from one to the other, but when you're down there in New London, at Alewife Cove, you're telling people, this is New London over here, this is Waterford. You're teaching all kinds of lessons. Never mind, oh, this is a blue crab, this is a green crab, this is an eel, to be able to kayak over there and see all the different things. And they've got, do they go out on that walkway that they have at Ocean Beach Park?
Oh, sure. Sure.
And check out, land animals too, besides,
exactly.
What's in the water?
Exactly. Just stepping back and thinking about that, one of the things, so NESS has been around for 23 years. We started out with kind of 14 boats. Now we have over probably several hundred. But I think the thing that we got right that you're touching on, Will, is our 4 core values. NESS started by wanting to be inclusive, initially inclusive of all those who can't necessarily afford it, but getting them out of the water. But now we want to be inclusive with individuals maybe with learning disabilities or other special needs. The second core value is experiential hands-on learning by doing. When you think about a math problem, say leverage, learning in the classroom, when you take them out sailing and you take out one turn of a block, leverage means something very different. The third core value is personal growth, getting them outside their comfort zone, but expanding their learning and their opportunities and learning that they can really do something and learning by having fun. The reason why I'm bringing this now, stewardship is a major element of our core values. Stewardship of not only environment, but stewardship of the community. When we once taught sailing up in Hartford, and everybody thought Hartford was the sailing capital of the world, when they went out in the opties, a little boy looked over his shoulder and saw the Hartford skyline. And we were able to say, that's your community. So building a sense of community and a camaraderie is important. So I think those 4 core values have been the underpinning of absolutely everything you've done. Our product base may have changed over the years, but not those 4 core values.
Well, to sign up for classes, it's nessf.org.
Right.
And you just go online and sign up? Or?
We have an online sign up, and that's basically our summer program.
Okay.
Our academic year, really, we work through schools. So probably this year we taught out of Stonington maybe 1,200 students. So you think of the vast majority of students is really working with schools and school systems. And so that sign up is basically done through the school and individual grades.
But they can get information on the website.
For sure. The website is full of information.
You know, we have another video I'd like to show. You've got quite a crew, you know, and why don't we run that and we can talk about that a little bit, about all the programs that are coming up. So they're right down on Water Street in Stonington Borough, and this is what I'm talking about. You got a large
team.
crew.
Well, 27 full-time employees, and in the summer, we also have AmeriCorps members, which is 7 to 10, but then it swells up to about 75 or 80, just to make sure we're safe and delivering quality programs. Surfing. Surfing competition, Catch a Curl, it's fabulous. That's Saturday, September 21st, up at Wisconsin Beach in Rhode Island, outside of Westerly.
Yeah, they look like they're having fun.
Yeah. And then, you know, not only do we teach sailing, but if we want to go out for a little bit of a harbor cruise, we can do that. It's not our main business, but our main business is getting people out in the water, whether it's learning or being in a sonar, which you see there. We just talked about Ocean Beach Park. It is a wonderful area to learn kayaking and being in the estuary. And once again, see those kids smiling. That's really wonderful.
Yeah, you see the life jackets there. When we had the Department of Energy and Environmental Protection, it was the week leading into Safe Boating Week.
Right.
And that was a big push. But look at it, we got a horseshoe crab here.
Yeah, and once again, they're learning. I mean, it's ocean adventure. You know, you think about a 4-wall classroom, but we have a classroom without walls in the environment. And once again, that's a great classroom right there, because they're doing a lot of learning and gaining some confidence.
Well, that's a Stonington breakwater right there, isn't it?
It is, and that's a Hartley that we sail, and you know, that's good. Fishing, great program, and you know.
Look at how happy this guy is.
Yeah, which one, the fish or him? That fish will be turned back, but it's just understanding, you know, the environment, being out there, and the sense of accomplishment. And they're surfing, you know, it's. These platforms are really different. And once again, thinking about that inner city child that may not have been on the water, look at that, look at what they can do, and look at where they're going. And we're really proud to say how much NESS has transformed lives.
Now you have a lot of women in your program that are teaching and putting together all these different things for all the kids. It's
right.
Women on the water.
Yes, that's bringing women together and having programs to share experiences and realizing that they can.
Okay.
Very proud of this, our scholarship challenge that we're right in the middle of now, that we're raising money to support scholarships. When I said 50% of our students receive some form of financial aid to participate, it's all through scholarships. And that's a lot of where our fundraising goes to. Our operating budget is a little over $3.5 million, and we raise $2 million a year, so getting sponsorships and fundraising is really, really important for us.
Do you have a big sponsorship event, or is it, you know, just an ongoing thing trying to get people to support you?
It's an ongoing process. We have several events throughout the year. We just had an event last Sunday where we were raising money for scholarships. Also, one of our students, an 8th grader, sailed from New London to Stonington in an Opti, 14 miles alone, and raised money, about $5,000 as far as an 8th grade project.
Wow.
Which was good, and that really came from the community and how can he bring something and joy and learning to somebody who may never know, but he's raising money to support that. So that's really important.
Well, you mentioned at the very beginning that self-confidence is one of the main things you're trying to teach. Can you imagine a 14-year-old kid sailing from New London across, you know, the Thames, and then, you know.
Well, the boat traffic, you know, staying away from ferries. I mean, you know, when you think about the size differential from a ferry to from the Opti, that's big. But, you know, he did it, and it was fantastic.
You know, and to be able to read a chart and
Yep.
to know where you want to go, to be able to know that, you know, oh, that water tower, I'm, you know, okay, now I know where I am if I was on land, and, you know, to see, oh, that tower over there, or that church steeple,
Yep.
or, you know, to know all the landmarks, you know, when you're out on a boat, you really want to know where you are, you know, and you know, if you go out in the fog and get lost, and you
For sure.
you know,
And
you want to be able to be able to pick up a landmark and go, oh, okay, now I know where I have to go, east or west, or, you know, go from there.
And you know, we talk about the importance of NESS as providing transformational kind of life-changing opportunities. For Will, that was one, and the fact that he did it, did the fundraising for it, and it exceeded expectations, and he's going to do a little movie of it.
I'm
Really
not
quite a thing.
14 years old, people. You know, that's
Really?
that's a different Will.
Yeah. Yes, that's right. That's right.
No, but that's, so you have different ways for students to raise money and everything, and I guess you have a donation page on the website. That would be nessf.org.
Right, correct.
Okay. The other thing that we like to talk about is sponsorship. You know, you probably have some pretty big sponsors you'd like to say thank you to.
Yeah, we don't, I mean, Orsted, which you saw on the American Magic, was one sponsor of that curriculum. But, you know, we have partnerships, and one of the things that we would like to focus on now in terms of gaining sponsors from a more of a corporate way to help us deliver this program to many more schools and students. And so that's an opportunity that we'd like to pursue.
Or maybe this is an idea, do any of the local marinas have anything to do with NESS?
We've been supported by a lot of local marinas in terms of our programs there. Certainly Dotson's Boatyard, which is right, you know, next door to us, has been very, very helpful. But I think if we're going to, you know, our vision is we want to provide this opportunity to many more students and figure out actually how to scale. Having some type of corporate sponsor to do that will be very, very important.
Well, I haven't been to Dotson's Boatyard much for sailing, but I've been there for crab cakes.
I think that's called dog watch.
Yeah, they got a pretty good restaurant there.
Exactly.
So, but no, that's good. I mean, sponsorship is important. You know, we try to tell people that all of these nonprofits that we bring in on the show, because it is public access TV, they all need help. You know, so if you can help out in any way, I mean, that's great. That's great. But so you were a NESS kid, grew up when you first started,
Yes.
and look at you. And what are you doing later on today?
We're going up to Newport for an event at the New York Yacht Club, and we're going to talk about the American Magic program and what we can do.
It's amazing what can happen, you know, when a kid gets involved with something and has a dream that they really want to. This is what I want to do, you know, and to go from getting on a boat and gaining self-confidence like you did, and then to be able to talk to international racing committees, you know, to bring that, you know, back to the area. I mean, a lot of people don't realize this, but, you know, the America's Cup was sailed off of Newport for over a century, you know, and then it went down under for a little bit, and, you know, then it came back to San Diego, and it would be nice if it came back to Newport again, you know, so, you know, we've got all kinds of things that, you know, we're so glad that you're, you know, getting the New York Yacht Club to really make another push, you know, to get back, because it, you know, they have a big presence in Newport.
Well, the New York Yacht Club clearly has, they're devoting 10,000% of their energies on winning back the America's Cup. What we're doing with them is, while they're going to go win the America's Cup, we may transform some lives in terms of educationally while they're doing it. And wouldn't it be great if both were successful?
You know, I mean, it's not like, you know, it's a business kind of thing for local people. I mean, I remember going and watching the America's Cup races. You know, it's free. You get there, you get to watch. You know, I mean, it's an international competition that, you know, and you know, it's kind of exciting to see all the other boats that show up for it. You know, I mean, it was, you know, you can go to a boat show, but the boat show at the America's Cup race off of Newport is just
huge.
So much fun to watch. You know. I mean, to see a yacht with a helicopter on the back of it, okay. You know, I mean, it's, you know, and then to see somebody bouncing around in a whaler, and they're really bouncing around in a Boston whaler, you know, I mean, it's fun. I mean, I grew up on a Boston whaler too, you know. So it
takes all types, right? It does.
So, I mean, it's fun, you know, to be involved. And I've been around the water for a good part of my life, and I really appreciate what you're doing, you know, to teach other kids how to do this. I mean, I was fortunate. I was, learned how to water ski at a young age, and go lobstering, and had 10 lobster pots, and went out and checked them every day.
Have your own little business there.
Well, no, my mother loved lobster. She didn't care if it was foggy. Go check the pots.
Absolutely.
I want lunch. I want dinner. So, but it was so much fun to be around. And then I was, over 20 years, well, a lot more than that in the marina business. I really have an appreciation for what you're doing, how you're bringing people into boating and bringing them safely and knowledgeably, and the self-confidence. I did teach the safe boating certificate course for 9 years. And it would be, the wife of somebody that owned a boat would come up to me and they'd be so nervous. Oh, my husband wants me to get a certificate so that he can just, take a ride and I can drive the boat a little bit. And I'm so nervous about it. And I would say, don't worry about it. It's an 8-hour course. We're going to get through it. Yep. And, then I'd set up, in the classroom, I'd move a couple of the desks around and say, all right, these are buoys. These are green. These are red. Now we're going to come up and you're going to drive the boat, and we're going to have another boat coming towards you. What side are you supposed to meet at?
Yep.
Simple little things.
Practical learning. Practical learning.
And after the course was over, the same women that were so nervous beforehand would come up and, oh, thank you. I can't wait to get out and drive my husband's boat, and and be excited about it. So it's just really, really good that you're doing all this. So. We just got, these shows go by so quickly.
Right.
We just got a couple minutes left. We talked about the fall programs that are coming up. You've got the surfing, you've got the fishing, you've got the sailing. And it isn't just in Stonington, and you've got, everything going on in New London. Anything else you want to touch base on? But,
I think you hit upon it. For NESS, we're the greatest priority is high program quality, and equal to that is safety. But it is the experience of one student at a time, giving them the opportunity to do something that they may not have done before. If they've done it before, do it better, but also bring it back to the math and the science so we can support their academic achievement, but the development of these life skills. And that's quite a package that we want to expand and bring to many more students, not only in the region, but farther out. So it's great to have the opportunity to be with you today, Will, and talk about it, and please visit our website.
All right. Well, thank you so much for being here, Spike.
Absolutely. Great fun.
Our next show is going to be with Tree Trails over in Mystic. They are going to be hosting the Fire Festival. So, if we love all the first responders in the area, and this is, for all those people who are fighting fires for us. So 2 weeks we'll be doing the Fire Fest from Tree Trails. But thank you so much for tuning in to Nautical Tales and Nature Trails, and we'll see you next time. Bridget, take us out.
Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channels at Mystic 2 Westerly and at SEC TV 1. Please join our group on Facebook and like my Facebook page. Let me explain Mystic to Westerly to you. Mystic is actually part Groton and part Stonington. Stonington Borough and Pawcatuck are also part of Stonington. 2 towns, 2 states make one community. Watch Hill and Misquamicut Beach are part of Westerly. Connecticut Route 2 starts in Pawcatuck, goes through North Stonington, into Ledyard, and Preston, to Norwich. It goes across the river into Uncasville, and more of New London County on its way to Hartford. New London County is also home to Waterford, East Lyme, Niantic, and Old Lyme. Basically, we enjoy living in southeastern Connecticut and southern Rhode Island. Thank you for watching Nautical Tales and Nature Trails. We hope you enjoyed it.